Well, Dan, just 2 years after taking over the program, head coach Darrell Day was able to do something that hadn't been done in 20 years. Well, Mike, the Lamar Tigers may have fell short of breaking an all-time scoring record this evening, needing 63 points to surpass the national mark of 903. Well, after last week, the biggest question surrounding the Pittsburgh State football program was how the team would respond following a loss. And after today, that question has been answered. Dan, with the Gorillas' loss here today, this becomes the first Fall Classic matchup since 2010 that technically wasn't an upset. It's senior night in Cherokee, Kansas, and the Lancers' starting lineup is capped off by a fresh face. Number 31, Trenton Powers, a 5'10 forward who's getting the first varsity start of his career as Southeast plays host to Baxter Springs, a game the senior won't be forgetting anytime soon. It's an early morning in the Pitt State weight room, and the Gorilla football program is hosting something that it hasn't seen in over a decade, an official pro day for 3 former players, with John Brown, Nate Dreiling, and James Kane putting their talents on display in front of NFL scouts and coaches, hoping to improve their chances of making it to the next level, a dream that the players say has been in the making for quite a while. Wednesday afternoon brings another practice for Charlie Brown and the Joplin High School basketball team. And although the full roster is represented in Young Gymnasium, one key figure has been given the day off, Charlie's older brother, Jeremiah, who occupies the first seat on the bench during Eagles home games and serves as a motivating factor for the senior guard. It's 3:30 in the afternoon at Pittsburgh State University. The Gorilla women's basketball team is hitting the court inside John Lance Arena, preparing for their upcoming opponent this weekend, but keeping in mind their ultimate goal, and that's getting back to where they were 2 years ago. Welcome inside Cardinal Stadium, site for Webb City's Friday afternoon football practice and home of the 10-1 Cardinals, a program that closes out the week on a 9-game win streak and finds itself one step closer to claiming a 4th consecutive state title. It's Thursday afternoon in Carl Junction, Missouri, and you can find head football coach Doug Buckmaster inside Bulldog Stadium getting his team ready for next week's district final, a game that CJ hasn't seen on its schedule in over a decade.
I want you to remember, if you honor the man, he honor you. If you honor the man, he honor you. Remember, D-More. Remember, D-More. Remember, D-More. Remember, D-More. Remember, D-More. Let's have a party.
Well, that was head coach Darrell Day and the Missouri Southern football team last night after the Lions pulled off the upset against Pittsburgh State 35-21, a result that allowed Southern to both celebrate a long-awaited victory and pay tribute to a fallen assistant coach. Welcome back to the Sports Feed. We continue tonight by hitting the hardwood. The Oklahoma City Thunder held their home opener this evening by hosting the Phoenix Suns. And the Thunder getting a key piece to their scoring attack back as Russell Westbrook made his first start since suffering a season-ending knee injury back in April. Early on, it didn't look like there was much rust to shake off, though. First quarter, OKC down 4, but Westbrook with the drive and lay-in off the glass. He'd score 21 in his return, but he'd also share the ball as well. As we move to the second, Thunder down 1. Westbrook dishes to Durant, and Durant with the two-handed jam. That put OKC back in front. Then in the second half, the two going to get together again. 2-on-1, Durant dishes to Westbrook, and he returns the favor as Durant slams down the alley-oop. So the Thunder go up by 4, and then in the late stages, they pull away. Westbrook can't get his shot to go, but Serge Ibaka with the rebound, and Kevin Durant going to finish things off as he drains the 3 ball. So Thunder go back up by 4, and they go on to take this one 103-96, handing the Suns their first loss of the regular season. Sticking with basketball, the Pittsburg State men's and women's teams held their annual autograph day on Saturday afternoon, with the team signing posters and posing for pictures with fans outside Kearney Smith Stadium. The Gorillas won't play any home games for another few weeks, but with both teams having already wrapped up their exhibition schedules, the event served as a chance for the student athletes to get out into the community and connect with the public. Well, for a 5th straight year, Kearney Smith Stadium in Pittsburgh was the site for a junior college bowl game. And Sunday afternoon, it was the Tyler Apaches and Garden City Broncbusters squaring off in the football capital of Kansas Bowl. If you were hoping for warm conditions in this one, you were out of luck, with temperatures sitting in the low 20s around kickoff. But we'll pick things up in the first half, and the Apaches getting the scoring started off early as Randy Price hands off to Terrence Taylor up the gut and in for 6. And when it's this cold outside, you don't waste any time celebrating. You go to the sidelines and warm up your toes. Now we move forward a few possessions. Tyler working near its own goal line, and Taylor gets stonewalled inside the end zone. So Garden City able to get on the board with a safety, and that would lead to this. Jake Curran working inside the red zone and finds Montario Birchfield. The 11-yard strike, putting the Busters in front 9-6, a lead that would slip away quickly as Price looks down the field and Devontae Derricott hauls it in to set him up inside the 10. And a few plays later, they would go ahead and punch it in as Taylor gets the pitch and finds his way in for the score. Apaches go back out in front, and there would be no looking back from there as they hang on to win this one 47-21 the final. Now let's check out some Division II action from Saturday. Pitt State taking on Southwest Minnesota State in the Mineral Water Bowl. We'll pick things up on the first possession of the game. Charlie Kern rolling to his right, but Avery Adair pokes the ball loose. Joe Uzzle with the scoop, and he'll just take it in for 6. So just like that, the Gorillas jump out to an early lead. But both teams would trade a couple scores to make it 17-14, and late in the first quarter, the Gorillas would get the run game going as Jeff Siebold takes the handoff near midfield, busts through the line and into the open field. He's got some room, and he'll take that 52 yards for the touchdown. So Pitt takes a 10-point edge, and a few minutes later, they'd extend it as Anthony Abinoa fires one across the middle of the field, finds Austin Daniel near the 40, and he'll turn on the Jets to take that in for his first score of the season. 59-yard strike extends the lead to 17, and they weren't done there. A few possessions later, offense staying hot. Abinoa on the play action tosses one up for Connor Combs, and he snags it out of a defender's hands. 7-yard score extends the margin to 24, and there was a lot more where that came from. Next possession, Pitt just pouring it on as Abinoa tosses the deep ball again and finds John Brown for the 43-yard score. He'd end the day with a team-high 156 yards, and the Gorillas go on to win this one big 90-28 the final, a performance that players say was initiated the night before the game when the Gorillas held their final team meeting of the season.
I was pretty nervous about how the game was going to start up until last night's team meeting, and everybody just solidified that they were 100% into it, ready to go out there and play one last time and bring another win home for the Gorillas.
I'm really proud of the team. We came out and I feel like we played harder than we ever played before. We just knew it was the last time, so we just gave it all we got.